So, something I've been thinking about lately is the fact that I don't really want to grow up in a way that kills the kid inside me or like the childlike thinking inside me in a way of like being creative and just looking at the world in a sense of wonder and a sense of mystery and just being interested in things. And before anybody says it, no, I don't mean being irresponsible. I don't mean not wanting to have adult responsibilities or wanting to act like a grown up or acting like life has no consequences because obviously it does. Like we all have things that we have to do. Like we all need to try to take care of ourselves, brush your teeth and try to show up for work if you have a job and trying to make sure you're making money. If something that you need breaks, it's important to try to figure out how to fix it. And I feel like that's really just part of being an adult. But I also don't want to become one of those people that has to be serious 24/7 about everything, or can never look at anything in a silly way, or it can never have like a goofy moment or something because it's just not cool enough. In my last video, I had talked a little bit about balance, and I really think that that's what it all comes down to. I think that you can be responsible and you can still have fun with the responsibilities that you have to do in life. Like, I love seeing those kind of people who are able to like show up to a construction job and somehow turn a miserable day into a good time still, where they're still able to be laughing and making jokes, maybe trying to ride a jackhammer like it's a pogo stick. Okay, maybe that's actually not a good idea. Don't do that, but you know what I mean. It's not about pretending like everything is like sunshine and rainbows and fun all the time. Sometimes life just punches you in the face and just takes it without asking. And it doesn't mean that everything is terrible. I think that a part of life is some of the painful things. Like you lose people, you have to fail sometimes. I feel like you can get your heart broken, and I feel like things don't always go the way that we want them to. But at the same time, something really important comes with those things. And I feel like something that you get once you get through those moments is that feeling that you actually made it through it. Like, damn, like I didn't think I was going to be able to make it out of that situation, but you were able to figure out a way to make everything work somehow in a way that you didn't predict was even going to be able to happen. And honestly, I think that that is one of the most important feelings that life has to offer. And when I started deciding that I was going to make this video, I started to think as well, like, there's always a point in every show where there's a main character that is struggling with some kind of great thing going on in their life. Like they have to solve some kind of mystery that's going on, or there's some kind of puzzle behind everything that they have to figure out, or there's like a giant event that they're training for, or some kind of tournament, or some kind of match, or some shit. Or like maybe they're going on some kind of crazy journey and they're getting ready to start, and everything keeps going wrong. And I realized that's literally us. We're always watching these stories and thinking they're very inspiring and getting captivated and sucked into these worlds, but I think it's easy to forget that we're living in one for ourselves too. I feel like every single person has their own events and is the main character in their own story of life. And I think that that's why these tropes that are used and have been used throughout history never seem to get old. And I think that the problem is when you're growing up, like all of these things are based on real life because life is overcoming obstacles and it's figuring stuff out and it's trying to grow into somebody that's stronger than the person that you were. And it's growing and it's going through that pressure to get to the place that you're getting to. And I think it's really easy to forget that, especially now, because we've got distractions everywhere. I feel like social media and random internet drama and people arguing over stuff that's not even going to matter in a week or so. And all of that together, I think makes it really easy to just watch somebody else's story all day, honestly. And don't get me wrong, I feel like there's only so much you can do to avoid other people's problems in your life. Like you're always going to have some sort of trouble from others. I feel like it's completely unavoidable. I feel like you're always going to run into some kind of hardship, whether it's an issue with family or something that happens with friends or in some kind of relationship you're in, or even complete strangers, like even online. Like you would just run into people that are constantly trying to put us down or like trying to put us through something. And I think that that's what makes everything interesting because whenever there's like a main character in a story, those kind of things don't make them stay stuck forever. I feel like they allow it to actually evolve them. They go through those things and it's like a transformative process and it's just part of what has to happen. But I feel like that's the biggest part of what makes people interesting is the things that they go through as a person. And I feel like the answer is not just like locking yourself in your room forever and trying to pretend like the world doesn't exist, because you can't do that. I feel like you're going to have to deal with difficult people. You're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to risk being hurt. You have to risk failing. And I feel like eventually, after all of that happens, you have to know how to bounce back. I feel like you have to become rubber. You have to be able to take those hits, and you have to be able to stretch it out a little bit after it's over and just bounce back into the place that you were and just start focusing again on the person that you're trying to be. Because at the end of the day, life is way too short, and I don't think it should matter what other random people think about you. You know what I mean? If you genuinely find something that you love doing, you should undeniably just go and do that and focus on that. I feel like if it gives your life meaning and it gives you some kind of purpose, I feel like you should keep doing it. I feel like there's no time to be waiting on everybody else's approval for everything that you want to do in your life. And I feel like, especially now in this day and age where there's so many different things trying to compete for your attention, I feel like there's a whole entire industry that's for some reason built around keeping you distracted and consuming the wrong kind of thing, by keeping you clicking in an algorithm and just scrolling forever and keep you watching things and buying things. Just before you know it, I feel like you just become exhausted with all of those things and you don't even realize that it's happening to you and it's draining you and it's burning you out. You blink and before you know it, you've spent 8 hours just scrolling and focusing on things that you don't actually care about and nothing that mattered to you. I feel like you got to not let that happen. I feel like it's really important that the things we consume unexceptionally need some form of substance in our lives, true substance that actually matters to us. And I don't think we should just do anything and everything without thinking. I think it needs to be something that matters. And honestly, I think that that's something that we can learn from kids and the way that their minds work towards things. I don't feel like we should be irresponsible, and I don't feel like we should learn how to throw tantrums and refuse to do chores. But I feel like kids only care about what genuinely excites them and what genuinely matters to them. And I feel like they're so honest and they're so like genuinely curious about things. I feel like you could not convince a kid to spend all day worrying about every piece of chaos that is happening on the fucking TV or across the world or in a whole other country or like all over the place. You know, I just feel like you could not convince them to do that. I feel like they're focused on like what's right there in front of them that matters to them and what they're paying attention to, like the things they actually love and the things that actually matter to them and that make them feel alive and like they're enjoying themselves. And I feel like somewhere along the way of growing up in this world that we live in, I feel like we lose track of the ability to try to do that for ourselves. So maybe becoming an adult isn't about killing the inner child that you have and killing any bit of like imagination and curiosity you have. Maybe it's about giving that kid responsibility and keeping the imagination and the curiosity and the joy that comes from living life, but trying to pair it with discipline. I think that those things together and being able to live that way is what makes life get actually interesting. I just wanted to get on my little soapbox for today and talk about this stuff. I watched some video that was talking about like the mindset of a man child. So kind of got me thinking, and I wanted to sort of throw my 2 cents out there. But now I feel like those 2 cents are spent. So until next time, I don't want you guys to forget to always smile and be happy and just strap in and don't forget to enjoy the ride. And I will see you guys in the next one that I make. Thank you.